Okay, hello. This is Sean Corey from Just the Beer Talking. I am at Hampton Brewing in Hampton. Well, actually, technically just outside of Hampton, but more on that in a minute. And this fellow right here is one of the brewers here at Hampton Brewing, and his name is Devon. So, hi, Devon.
Sean, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. I should say thanks for having me, man. Anyway, Devon's been working hard here today, canning and so on. And how long have you been here, Devon?
I've been here since day one, so just over 2 years now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, so I have, all right, so I'm just doing this on the fly, but okay, so I have these 10 questions. Now they're not hard, but they are poignant, as your assistant, your colleague, and Simon said. He regarded them as poignant, and I have this new idea, Devon, that I'm going to go to as many breweries as I can, and I'm going to ask these 10 insightful questions, and the only reason I'm asking them is to provide information and knowledge and enlightenment to our very well-informed audience. So, I hope these aren't too technical for you, Devon, but I think you can handle it.
Let's get to it.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll call these Corey's questions, I guess. All right. So, Devon, question number 1. Is the beer here any good?
You know what? It depends on who you ask, but I definitely think we have some of the best beer out here in New Brunswick, for sure.
Oh.
I'm not biased or anything.
Well, you would, because you brew the beer here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you are a brewer,
Yeah.
so your word is important. I mean, you're a brewer, so you're practically a scientist, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, we should listen to the scientists.
Exactly. I think brewing is really interesting too because it's almost like a mixture between science and art. You know, it's a really fine line between the two.
Yeah.
And it's always something new, which is always fun.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, clearly, the beer that you're making here is pretty awesome. So,
Thank you.
I think you're on the right track, man. All right, carrying on.
Okay.
Question number 2. Is it true, Devon, brewer at Hampton Brewing, is it true that craft beer has 0 calories?
Has 0 calories. That is not true. Quite the opposite.
What?
But
now, Simon said it's fine. It has nothing to do. As I've been going around drinking beer all summer, right? Driving around.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that I think it's because I put my clothes in the dryer, Devon. They're getting like snug. So you shouldn't put your clothes in the dryer. They're cotton, it shrinks.
Yeah.
So I was worried about that. So I was asking Simon, and he said, "Yeah, no, Sean, that's true. 0 calories." So I just kept drinking beer.
Yeah.
Is that wrong or?
Well, you know what? If Simon says so, we're going to go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's right. He's the senior.
Simon says.
Simon says. Right, which he likes it when we say that.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Simon says it's no calories.
No calories.
No calories in craft beer. It's like the Seinfeld episode about the yogurt. This non-fat yogurt they were all eating.
Yeah.
And they kept gaining weight. But this is not like that. This is truly, it's practically a health food.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just special water. Special water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As Simon pointed out to me, beer has, relatively speaking, more flavor than water. Sorry to get too technical. It's going to get easier to follow here in a minute. Okay. Now, for this question, Devon, I need a prop, which is a beer. But here's the thing. Don't worry about it. You probably saw me out there earlier drinking the beer. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you noticed because question 3 is, do I look cool, Devon, drinking your beer?
I think.
I
don't think you need a drink or a beer to look cool.
Why are you laughing, Devon? I mean, I got dressed up to come here.
What is cool these days?
Drove like 12 hours from St. Andrews to get here.
I'm the wrong person to ask on what's cool and what's not cool.
I don't know. I think I'm going to defend Devon here and say I think he's pretty cool. And you know, he's named after an entire neighborhood in Fredericton. So how many of you can say that? I thought so. Okay, carrying on, Devon. Question number. There are only 10.
It's only 10. All right.
I mean,
we're almost halfway through. We're getting there.
I mean, it's no problem. Okay. This question has a context to it, I guess. I mean, the question is it true? You gotta check my notes here. Is it true, Devon, that craft beer is a brain tonic? Now, the reason I ask this is because I've noticed, and I'm not an expert, but I've noticed if I drink enough craft beer, I feel smarter.
You know what, that's a really good point. I never really thought of it that way. But speaking from experience, I think I've been getting a little smarter since working back here too.
Yeah. Nick in the background seems to agree. He's laughing, which means it's sort of like an affirmative response.
I agree.
Meaning yes.
Yeah.
His laughter means yes. You're smarter than when you started. Now I don't know how smart he thinks you were when you started.
Oh.
So that's something to keep in perspective.
It's probably irrelevant. He's definitely smarter.
You're definitely smarter.
It's the beer. It's the beer. That's the answer.
Folks, you heard it here first. This podcast is virtually a medical journal, and craft beer is indeed, New Brunswick craft beer, and especially the beer at Hampton Brewing, is practically, like virtually, like almost, like kind of.
We're starting to fall behind a little bit.
You could pretend like it's a brain tonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we're just putting lots of, because a lot of people do watch this podcast for medical information.
Okay. I did not know that.
So I just wanted to cross the T's and dot the I's.
We're gonna get the little subliminal messaging or the little fine detail print on the bottom there with that.
Yes. I'm going to get my co-host, Michael, to say all the disclaimers really fast at the end of the video. Because Michael didn't come here today because he's a slacker. So we're going to give him the post-production job. So Michael, start practicing talking quickly.
I'm going to time it. I want to see how fast you can do it.
Devon's timing it. So
after a couple more beers, we'll be able to get through it faster, right? The brain's working
because
faster.
it's a brain tonic.
Exactly.
I love it when a plan comes together, Devon. Okay, question number 5. Corey's questions from Just the Beer Talking for our friend here, Devon, Hampton Brewing. Devon, is your beer habit forming?
Habit forming. Ooh. You know what?
The reason I ask is because, like, I drink some beer, then the sun goes down, I get tired, go to sleep, have a little sleepy time, get up the next day, and I'm like, man, I really like a beer today. So I started thinking, because I don't know the exact definition of habit. You folks have to look that up in your dictionaries or what have you, your thesauri. But I started thinking, Sean, is this habit forming? So I thought I'd come and ask like an expert, because I'm not, as previously stated, I'm not an expert.
Well, I think, you know what? I think as long as it's making you smarter. You know, if you got to do it to study for school or what have you there, I think it's okay. I think saying it's a habit, I think if you enjoy it, I think there's a difference between those two, you know?
Huh.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is you're a full-on hedonist, eh? It's just like, as long as you're having fun, who cares?
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well, this is how Devon rolls.
That's how we roll. That's how we get it done.
I like your style.
Adapt and overcome.
I like
right?
it. I like
Adapt and overcome.
I like your style, Devon. You and I have some things in common. All right. My stickers. See, well, we'll pick those up later, folks. Don't panic. All right. Now, referring to my notes here. Question number 6. We're almost done. Is it true, Devon, that, let me just make sure, that, is it true that Hampton Brewing, and the Hampton Brewing Company, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hampton Brewing Company. Is it true that Hampton Brewing Company is the best brewery in New Brunswick? Is that true?
I think that's 100% true, Sean.
I thought so.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think our answers here are a little biased, but there are some great breweries out here in New Brunswick. But
No question.
I definitely think we can compete with a lot of them, for sure.
It's good to know what the best brewery is, right? Like that's helpful information, don't you find? Like if you're driving around, especially with gas prices and stuff.
It's true.
'Cause you're like driving, you're like, how long do I have to drive to get the best beer in New Brunswick? Well, you just put it in your GPS and you figure out how far Hampton is, and then that's how you figure it out.
That's how you get there. Yeah.
That's how I got here.
Yeah. It might take $40 in gas, but there you go.
Well, I drive a Jeep Gladiator, so it's more like $80 in gas,
Yeah.
Devon.
Yeah.
But I'm making so much money from this podcast, it really doesn't matter. You know, as my dad used to say, ain't nothing to a big outfit, Devon. Or another friend of mine said, please pardon the profanity. This is very uncharacteristic, but I'm going to say it. That don't mean fuck all on a big ship, Devon.
As my wife's dad would say, kidneys. I'll say the big one. Kidneys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that too. I think we're both getting smarter
Yeah, I think so.
in the course of this conversation. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Okay. Question number 7. Devon, brewer at Hampton Brewing Co. Is there alcohol in this beer?
There is alcohol in this beer. We currently...
Really?
There is, yeah.
What? Really?
In all of our beer, there's alcohol.
I had no idea.
Disclaimer. All
My
of our beer has
God,
alcohol in
what
it.
have I gotten myself into, Devon? Jeez.
But
It all has it.
it all has it. All of our beer. We don't have any non-alcoholic right now. But maybe, who knows? Maybe someday in the future.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, that would be good too.
Yeah.
But this explains, I think, why. Like, I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes when I'm drinking beer, I start to feel kind of funny. Is that on account of the alcohol, you reckon?
I think it's just the brain developing a little bit more. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think
It's growing.
it's growing.
It's like one of
Kidneys.
those.
Kidneys are growing.
It's like one of those 50s sci-fi movies. Eventually, I have this giant brain, and I'll be taking over the world. That'd be great. It'd be more beer for everyone. If I get my way.
Yeah.
Question number 8, Devon. Where's the bathroom?
Bathroom's just outside here, right in the tap room. Yeah. It's
Well-
not too far away. It's just probably a 30-second stumble from here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I already asked Simon that question earlier, and he told me where the bathroom was. And in fact, I've been to the bathroom once, but I wanted to stick to the script.
Okay.
And believe me, Devon, at my age, it's good to have a reminder of where the bathroom is. So thanks for that.
You're
So
very
right
welcome.
out there and
Yeah, straight through the door.
to
hang
the
left.
left, and you can
Can't miss it.
you can do all the bathrooming you need to do. Okay. Question number 9, Devon. You're doing a great job, by the way.
It's my first
By-
time on a podcast
Well,
here, so
you're
we're trying.
Like,
See, I like to joke. Like when I first started out here, I worked in the tap room in the tap room,
right,
and
like a serving
as
beer,
a
and
serving
stuff?
beer, as a
Pulling beer.
server. And once the COVID and all the mask mandates were done, they needed help out back here, and we took the masks off. And I was joking that I was the face of the company. And then once the masks came off, they're like, "You're a back of house guy." And so they moved me back here, and I've been back here for over a year now. So, yeah.
Well, okay.
I feel
I'm
like
glad,
a gremlin sometimes.
I'm glad you
Okay.
told that story, Devon, because I can relate to this because my co-host Michael Head is kind of more of a behind the cameras kind of guy.
Okay.
Like he wants to be on the camera, but if you saw him, you'd understand. We try to, and that's part of the reason he's not here
I
today.
feel bad for Michael here. Like
Well-
I wish he could defend himself.
Well, what happens, you see, is when one of the hosts of Just the Beer Talking
Okay.
can't show up to something or doesn't because they're like a big fat slacker, for example, they should expect a roasting. So it's all part of the benefits of being part of this team.
Okay.
Now, Ashley was talking to me earlier about team. So she has like this approach to working with people, like a team approach.
Okay.
So this is new to me because usually I'm just like telling people what to do. So there's a bit of a cognitive exploration going on here, Devon.
Okay, I see.
And I have to probably have time to reflect. Nonetheless, Michael Head is still a behind the camera kind of guy.
Yep.
You can take my word for it. He's also bald, by the way. Now, he'll try to say he has hair. I'm just telling you, don't listen. That dude's bald. Dude is bald. Nothing against bald people. He's just bald, and that makes him a behind the camera kind of guy.
I get it.
This
the
is-
lighting. Everything
Well,
else.
it's shiny
Yeah.
and stuff. This is where we get some people tuning out of the podcast because they're like, this is offensive. Yeah. So that's my bad.
Sorry, Michael.
That's not.
You sound like a great guy.
That's nothing. He is. He is.
All right. Moving on. Question 9.
Devon, let's keep this moving, shall we? Now, Devon, do you still accept pennies here as payment for beer? I know it's not legal tender.
As long
anymore.
as it's not a penny for your thought.
Oh no, it's not.
No.
No, they're real pennies.
Okay.
I don't have any. I'm asking for a friend. So yes, they do. They shouldn't because it's not legal tender. But here at Hampton Brewing, your beer experience trumps the economy every time. You can put that on a T-shirt
Yeah.
if you want to, Devon. We have one more question.
All right.
Okay. Thanks for your patience
Oh,
and
no
your time
problem.
and your expertise,
Yes.
most of all,
Yes.
and your excellent in front of camera looks. I don't care what your coworkers say;
Yeah.
they don't know.
No. No, we don't.
No, they don't appreciate you, Devon. But I'll do what I can while I'm here. Okay, last question. Should have given you the answer to this before I asked you, but if you need a little help, I can help you. So Devon, brewer at Hampton Brewing, the amazing Hampton Brewing. We love it. Love it. One of New Brunswick's best craft breweries. Absolutely. Devon says it's the best. Apologies to the other breweries. You're good. You're just not as good because there can only be the best. One best.
Gosh.
Good to get that cleared
I'm
up.
gonna definitely hear that later on.
Yeah, we're gonna get you and I are both gonna get a lot
Yeah.
of grief for this, but it's been good fun. Last question, Devon. What is your favorite New Brunswick craft beer podcast?
Oh, I mean, it's gotta be yours. It's gotta be just the beer talking. Like,
Oh, you think so?
I mean, I know so. I know so.
An expert.
There you go.
He's a brewer. He's practically a scientist.
It's just the way it is.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
The best beer podcast, craft beer podcast in New Brunswick. Just the beer talking. Thanks a lot, Devon.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Had a lot of fun,
Yeah,
man.
me too. Yeah.
Cheers.